on helmets. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and normally it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, it starts with hands-on helmets.
Yay. New intro. Catch that? Yeah, that was... Thanks, Sabrina Bogren, for helping out with that.
Awesome. She did a wonderful job.
Yeah, new update.
Some fresh stuff on there.
Yeah, it gets me all excited. Join the podcast until we join.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, what's new with you, buddy?
Same old, trying to recover still from this weekend.
I mean, yeah, we're all still trying to recoup from that one, which we'll talk. We kind of want to, as the intro and the description says, we're kind of like shifting gears. We got to go and look forward. We'll talk about probably what's in the past and maybe what's bugging Andy, but not really what's bugging Andy. It's just we'll throw it in that segment towards the end. Because we've got a couple guests already waiting to join. We have Derek Nimke waiting in the green room, as well as Steve Mueller from Tire Spot. So
nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, let me shut my phone off before I start getting these important phone calls again. Oh, I just did. I think my dad knows when the podcast is because he calls me every time. So
I get from time to time a text message here or there remind me to do something, or oh wait, that's you normally. Oh, never mind. You're on the podcast this week. So, yeah. All right.
Sweet. I'm ready to get to these guys. I think it's gonna be good.
All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just bring on Derek. Welcome, Derek.
How's it going?
It's going.
Good. How is Derek?
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good.
Have you healed up from the race this week? Oh wait, yeah, you have, haven't you?
Yeah, we were all ready to go there early morning, waking up and starting to load up and hit the road, and then we got the message on Facebook there, it got canceled. So
yeah. Now I've seen around your area, around Davenport, you're not too far from there.
No, I'm just like 10 minutes away.
Yeah, you guys got a ton of rain. Cars floating and everything over there.
Yeah, so we're right on the river there, and a lot of that area, LeClaire, some of Davenport got flooded out. When that storm first hit, they said there was some tornado that touched down in Bettendorf, and yeah, it was just a whole bunch of rain. I'm not sure on how much we got, but yeah, it hit pretty hard. So
yeah, it's pretty fast. Is that a place that normally floods?
Yeah, early in the spring, when the snow melts and we get a lot of rain, the river comes up and we get some flood damage, but it's mostly not too bad once it comes summertime. So
nothing like it was this time.
No.
That really caught a lot of people by surprise, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. So at least you didn't have to drive in it or spend the night in it or anything. You got a good night's sleep.
After the first wave of it hit, and it was just sprinkling for the rest of the night, I was loading up in the rain. stuffing the quad in and putting all my tools and stuff in the bed while it was raining. I was like, got halfway done. I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'll get the rest in the morning. I was getting tired and being in the rain, being wet. So I said, screw it.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So Derek, when did you start racing with this?
I started racing, I'd say almost 9 years ago now. I'm on my 9th season right now, way back on the 90 stock class. My dad just basically asked me one day, hey, you want to try this out? And we went to that race down in St. Charles, and it's first race ever. I think you remember this. I stuffed it in a ravine on like the first or second lap there. I stuffed it in a ravine, and I got out, finished the race, and after that I was just hooked ever since.
Really?
Nice.
Huh. You missed that track?
I mean, it's kind of a love-hate relationship because I used to only run the 90 on that track. Whenever I jumped to the 300, we never went back there, but I always had a bad day there. I always hit a tree or did something stupid and got in a wreck or something along those lines, and just never had a good race there. But I mean, from what I can remember, I think I used to enjoy it, besides the wrecking part.
But at least you got that out of the way, that first wreck, and you're good to go after that.
Oh yeah, I think I finished 11th that race, 11th out of 12 riders, so I wasn't dead last, but it's close.
Well, things have changed because you've been on top of that podium for many, many times since then. So,
oh yeah,
it's always cool. You and your family's always there, and like we always talk, you're doing it as a family and do it the right way and stuff. And we definitely appreciate you guys coming. You got a great family behind you. So, yeah. So we get to have fun with you tonight on the Jason Mickelson Century 21 Rider Spotlight. And Chris has been telling me today that he goes, let me have this one. I want to take control. I want to talk to Derek. So I don't know what he's got playing for you, but I'm going to let him go. So I'd be ready.
Man, this is a new one. Throw me under the bus.
Yeah, I've never done that before. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Derek, I just want to say the first time I think I remember seeing your family at the racetrack was your dad was holding this little remote in his hand. I was like, what is he doing? And you go over, he's like, there's my son. He's keeping track of you on
the old dog collar is
the old dog collar. Right.
Yeah. So after that very first race, and I dumped it in that ravine, my dad seen I didn't come through on that first lap, and then that's when he ordered that dog collar tracker deal. And yeah, it's basically just a dog collar. It used to be screwed on my helmet, and then rules changed, so then I moved it to my chest protector. So now it's on the back of my chest protector, and it just tracks me everywhere I go on the track. And then if it says I'm treed, that basically means I'm stopped moving and I'm stuck or treed somewhere. So it's actually come in handy this year already. So
well,
that's really cool. I think I'd only heard about that like maybe one other time. It might have been the first time. But yeah, that's really cool. Now my question is, can he zap you with it?
No, that's been talked about a lot. He always says he wishes he could, but I think he's going to have to get a new rider if he does that.
I could see him coming through scoring faster.
I don't know if you heard, but Chris lost a bet the other day, and that was our bet. So at the banquet this year, we're going to have a dog collar on him that I get a zapping one.
There was no bet.
We'll sell a lot of tickets for this.
Nope. Nope.
Should be pretty cool. I can't wait.
I think the last race you and I did, I beat you pretty clean.
I can't. You're breaking up. I can't even hear
you. Andy likes to get on the quick story.
So Derek, we're doing the spotlight, right?
I know. Quick, but yeah, it's my time to shine for a second. That we're at Knoxville and went to Slideways with the little go-karts, and Andy always talks the talk that he's faster, and he let me pick out the car, even gave me the lead, and I just walked away from him. So it's my fame. Yeah.
Wish you had that dog collar right now. I'd zap you.
So, Derek, you've raced your team Honda, right? Because I think even you've always been after the 90. You went to a 300, correct?
Yep, always been on a Honda.
Junior class. Now you're on a 450.
Yep.
What was the transition for you going from that 90 to the 300? What did you have to do differently to kind of get used to where you're at today?
Basically, from that jump to 90 to a 300, it's a really big jump. But I think the biggest thing that's important is seat time. The more seat time you got, you can get familiar with that machine, get familiar with the clutch, shifting gears. Because, once you learn the clutch and shifting gears and being able to use your weight differently, because for me, back on a 90, I was able just to hold her wide open and just manual that thing around as much as I could. And on a 300, going from that jump, I'm jumping to a whole big different machine. I had to use my weight differently, I had to ride different. So the biggest thing is seat time and getting used to that new machine. I mean, everyone says, oh, the suspension's better, the power's better. I'm like, sure, but you're never going to use all that until you know how to ride it. So that's the biggest thing.
Chris, I know Derek was first started and everything and learning and getting fast in that 90, which you ended up winning a championship, didn't you, on the 90?
Yep.
With some good battles with my.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say he had some good battles with my boys back in the day on the 90s. So always entertaining.
I just remember Derek when we went down to Arkansas when we were doing the AXCC challenge, the list race. And we went down there and we got the news that you would have to race with the 400s down there, the class that you were in. They allowed kids to race up to a 400. And I remember talking to you about that, and you had a 400, but it wasn't up and going or something.
No, she was
said, yeah, I'll just take
down. So we were going to take the 300 down there, and we had an electrical issue with it, and it ended up being the stator, but for the life of us, we could not figure out what it was. And last minute decision, we just loaded up our little 250 and threw on a set of bead locks on the rear and just sent it.
Oh, that was a 250, wasn't it?
That was this bone stock.
Yeah,
it was a bone stock TRX 250 EX is what it is. I think it's an 06. So.
Huh. Well, all I remember is we went down there and we knew you were going to have to race against 400s. We're going to say, well, we'll just see what it is. And again, it was for that list race. And if you didn't know what that was, basically we took like 6 people and we challenged their 6 people in those certain classes. And that junior, I think we called it back then, was one of them. And went down there not knowing what to expect. And just Derek's going to ride his heart out. We knew that. And you came through and won that thing by a mile, and you did really well overall too, if I remember right.
It's been a while, but it was a blast. That's all I remember.
Yeah. No, you did real good. You're always doing well.
Actually,
I'll let Chris go. I just wanted to throw that out there because I remember you being up against some big dogs and doing really well there. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry about that.
No, Derek, you jumped from junior class to B class, correct?
Yep.
And that jump happened last year?
It happened this year.
This year you jumped?
I moved up this year.
And you're already battling third points right now, very close to second.
Yep.
What changes, potentially we got 2 races left. What changes you got to make to yourself or even your machine kind of be ready to go for that next round? And put it back on the box?
I mean, I'm just gonna say it again, seat time. I mean, this whole year has been a learning curve with this 450 because that jump from the 300 to the 450 has been a very big change to adapt to because this 450 we got it bone stock and we just been building it up every single race, getting it a little bit better because we just keep learning from the mistakes early this season to now because we've done a lot of races this year. We've also been chasing down a points lead in the MXC series in Missouri. And just by doing those races to get seat time and get practice time and to, find the flaws with the machine has been very helpful. And I'm chasing down the points lead there. I'm in first place currently, which has been a blast and been pretty fun. But to put it back on the box and hopefully get maybe second or for this season, I'm just going to get more seat time, keep riding it, and keep trying to maybe find more flaws. Hopefully not. So then I don't have to turn any more wrenches on it. But, yeah, hopefully just more seat time, more experience on it, and see what we can do.
So you mentioned that you're adding race by race more equipment. Can you kind of go into more detail? I'm thinking of 450 and kind of tweaking it here and there to your liking.
Yeah. It's basically just tuning it. We've done a lot of carb tuning on it. Very first race we did was down in Boulder, Missouri in February. Really cold race. And, I just had a slip-on pipe and, use this bone stock. And we went down there, discovered that my chain was loose and the tune was not right on it. She was running really rough. And after that, we learned to we put a new pipe on it, tuned it better, tweaked the suspension a little bit, made it a little bit softer, put a steering stabilizer on. And after that, as it started getting warmer, I ran into an overheating issue because I had a stock radiator, stock fan. And then we got that figured out, whole new fan setup and radiator setup, learned from that experience. And then as it started getting warmer, I had a starting issue, could never get the starts down. She would never really run hot, so I had to do some more tuning, get it figured out there. And we finally started getting it dialed in. Got a win down in Missouri after figuring out all those issues. Did a second place finish at Mount Pleasant recently. It was a very close race there. And yeah, it's been pretty much it.
Yeah. It's always learning experience. And you got to be proud of yourself, no matter what. You jump from junior straight up to be that, a top 5 finish, even top 10 in the class this year. You got to be proud of yourself for that. You're trying something new, skipped over the C class and go right to the competition in the B class. So,
yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So kind of like off topic because we don't kind of mix in some just general questions here as well as learning more about you and your machine. What is one item you couldn't live without?
One item? Boy. I don't know. That's really tough. I mean, one item. Can I say my four-wheeler?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I like riding. I like racing. I mean, it's been a big part of my life now. So, I mean, I love my machine. I couldn't live without it. I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't ride or race anymore. I mean, that'd be very tough. Very tough.
Yeah. Kind of like
ask Chris. Chris could probably tell you what it's like if you can't ride or race anymore.
What's it like, Chris?
I miss it. I very badly want to get back out there and race. But I think with the current circumstances, nobody can fill in my shoes. Andy's tried, but he's just not. He just comes up a little short every time.
See, I threw that in, don't you, Derek?
I do miss it. Yeah. One day, maybe. Thanks for lost my train. Oh, so we were talking earlier before the podcast started. What are some other activities outside of racing that you do?
So I'm also in football and wrestling, and then I do some FFA stuff too. But I'm mostly just in football and wrestling. So football season's actually starting up soon here. We've been doing a lot of early bird morning football workouts, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just basically keeping us conditioned and getting us ready for the season. But it's also helping me in the middle of race season right now, keeping me conditioned and all that. And actually, my strength coach, my football coach, Coach Stu, he has started helping me with some forearm workouts for arm pump. Early this season, I started getting really bad arm pump all of a sudden, and I talked to him about it, and he's like, yeah, you can just grab these dumbbells and start doing these like wrist twirls and all these kinds of different exercises to like stretch out my forearms and get them ready. Doing a lot of hand squeezers also, which has been very helpful. And then wrestling, which is also big conditioning for us. We've done some wrestling camps in the middle of summer here, which is, I mean, pure conditioning at this point, which has been pretty fun.
So I got to butt in here really quick. You keyed me in on this when you said wrestling. So
I knew I
obviously,
was.
Derek, you know, we're heavily involved with wrestling and stuff, but I've always sworn by it. So I want to ask you, wrestling and racing, how do they complement each other?
I mean, wrestling and racing, it's really like they're both the same kind of like mental sport. I mean, if you don't have the confidence or you don't believe in yourself, you ain't going to do well. I mean, it all really relies on yourself. I feel like you got to train yourself to get better. You got to discipline yourself to get better. I mean, that's how I feel like they complement each other. You just got to put your mind to it and go to work for both of them.
You can make excuses, but there's really no one else to blame, is there?
No, I mean, there's only but yourself out there.
Yep. I'm just a big believer in those two. They just, one of a kind, so. But anyway, I'll let Chris go. I just had to jump in there. You said those magic words. Wrestling and racing, the two R's, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's what a lot of the kids that are involved in the series do. And one, I think, keeps you active throughout the year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Throwing an oddball here. Does a round or square pizza taste better?
Round or square pizza?
Yeah.
I mean, earlier I just had a round pizza, so I'm going to say that. I mean, I don't know where you get square pizza around here, to be honest. All we got is a Pizza Hut and a Domino's down the road.
Pizza. Well, you got the most two popular places to eat.
Yeah.
Now, you don't live in the city, right? You kind of do you live outside this?
I live like about 15-ish minutes away from the city.
You're out
So
north.
Yeah, I'm out north.
You know how I know that, Chris? See if Derek remembers this.
Tractorcade?
Yep. I was on a tractor ride with my dad over there and going by, and I see this kid on a four-wheeler and his mom, and I wave at him like, oh, that was Derek.
Oh.
That's kind of cool. So.
Yep. You guys went right past my house there. I don't live too far off the main road, so I just rode my four-wheeler down the gravel road and parked up and waved.
Yeah. That was cool.
Sure, you had to wait a long time for Randy to come by.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put the full blame on him. I mean,
so what I was getting at, do you have a little practice track at home?
We got a little pasture that I made some jumps in. I mean, mostly around here is just cornfields, so it's kind of hard to make like a timber section. So yeah, I just mostly have just a pasture with some jumps in it, and then sometimes when the ditches are mowed, I go and hit a ditch line here and there. I mean, some mostly all I can do.
All right.
You get your dad to make you a maze through the corn.
I should go talk to the neighbor guy there and see if I can ride down through his waterways, because that'd be pretty fun.
Oh, there you go. Well, Andy, do you have the
Come on, Chris. You gotta go.
do you have the rapid fire questions handy?
Oh man,
I do.
Yeah.
Are you done with the other questions?
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much of his time. We've got a lot else to talk about.
All right, Derek, tell me this, though. If you had to pick your favorite racer, not in our series, just will it be of all time, or, whatever, somebody you could look up to like on a national level, who would it be?
I'm pretty sure this has already been said, but Adam McGill. I mean, he's been a Honda rider for I don't know how long, and I don't know. I just like Hondas, and he rides Hondas. And I mean, I could say anybody that rides a Honda. He's the main one that I know and the main one that I follow. And yeah.
Very cool. Now, are you going to be going to his school when he's coming over?
Yes, I am registered to go to his school, and that'd be awesome. It's gonna be an awesome time. Get to meet him, and it's gonna be fun. So.
Oh.
Then are you racing the next day?
State fair, yeah. So that's gonna be that's gonna be a challenge. You're gonna do the practice training camp there, and then I'm gonna go straight to the state fair and get ready for that. So I'm gonna get my dirt track set up probably in the parking lot of our hotel of wherever we are.
So he's going to race the B class at the state fair. I was kind of throwing it out there. He could also, if he wanted to, race the 16 to 29 class.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. Adam's going to be at the race. I haven't heard 100% if he's racing yet, but he will be.
Awesome.
Yeah, he'll be there. So
checking
to see if you learn anything. He's going to be following you, I'm sure.
Should talk him into racing one of his 3-wheelers there.
Right?
That'd be cool. That'd be sweet to watch.
So the reason I said not in our series, because you've been in there 9 years now. You've seen a lot of people, whether it be the, top the food chain and the AA, or any of the other ones. You've been around a lot of really good people. So I'd like to ask you, in our series, will it be your favorite racer or one of the racers that's influenced you by watching or being around them? If you had to tell me somebody, or if there's two of them you can't decide, tell me who that is.
I think the main one I got to say is Adam Rosenbaum, if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
He did a lot of Iowa races. He did a lot of the AXCC races, and he was always fun to hang out with and watch and learn from the races. I mean, he was a big influence when I was on the 90s, and it was always fun to watch him and be a part of his pits whenever he had to do a pit stop. And yeah, I mean, he was a really big influence back when I was still in the 90s.
I can definitely see that. Very nice. All right. So since Chris got through that pretty quick there, I'm trying to decide maybe we should hit one more since he didn't. What was the last podcast you listened to?
The last podcast? I think it was this one.
Okay. I'm just making it going through here. I'm setting you up on these, you see. So
yeah. I mean, normally we'll catch this podcast whenever it's live, but then we're on a big road trip or something, going to a race. My dad likes to put on this podcast called Lore. It's basically just like a bunch of spooky stories and stuff like that. But that's only basically if we're on a road trip or something.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, you mentioned like who you looked up to, of anybody in the series or outside the series. What's the best advice you've been given?
Best advice, I would say just stay consistent. If you have a bad race or a bad day, machine's not right or something, like just I mean, I'd say don't beat yourself up. You know, you always have more chances. You know, you always have time to get better. You know, it's not like a football game where you mess up that night, you're benched for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? You still have another shot to get up to that podium finish or to, you know, do a top 5 finish, whatever you need for that season. Just stay consistent. Don't beat yourself up in your head. And I don't know. That's all I can say.
Now, was you talking about wrestling or racing?
I mean, kind of both. I mean, they can tie them together. You
Absolutely. Yep. All right, so we'll hurry through this one now. This is a rapid fire, okay?
All right.
Very simple, just really quick. What's on top of your mind? Dog or cat?
Dog.
Favorite drink?
It's very unhealthy, but Mountain Dew.
Favorite food?
I mean, anything my mom can cook.
Favorite singer?
Favorite singer? Oh man. Either Jason Aldean or Treaty Oak Revival is a smaller country band.
Yep.
How about favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? Oh man, Texas Roadhouse.
Favorite sports team?
Iowa State football.
You broke up there. We'll come back to that one.
Good answer.
Favorite ice cream?
Vanilla. Got to keep it simple. Vanilla ice cream.
That's
Everyone.
been said like
I
8
mean,
out of 10 people.
I can go in more in depth, but I mean, it's a rapid fire question. So, I mean, I can go in depth more.
Very true. Okay. If you could have any car, what would it be?
2012 Corvette ZR1.
Wow.
Would you rather have a talking pet or a self-cleaning house?
Self-cleaning house.
And would you rather fight a giant spider or a giant snake?
Snake. I can't do with all the little legs. It just freak me out.
Well, Derek, that's it. We appreciate it. Once again, we want to thank Jason Mickelson, Century 21, for coming up with this idea and allowing us to learn more about you. I feel like we know you pretty well, but there's a lot of new racers out there that, just coming in. We've seen a huge, push this year. New riders, whether it be adults or younger ones. And I would tell everybody, I think you're a great one to go to. You've been in the youth and the adults and the, and in between and the juniors and stuff, and you've seen it all. So I think you're a good one for someone to remember your name and come up and be able to just ask you a question and how you do things or why you do things. And from everything I've ever seen, you're really good at kind of talking to people and stuff. So appreciate all you do. And you got a great family behind you, and we appreciate them being there all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're racing, just to clarify now, you're racing the Heartland, right?
Racing the Heartland.
So we're racing the Heartland. What's your team there?
Aiden Hayes and Austin Hendy.
Okay.
We'll be racing the B class. So
Nice.
it'll be fun.
And then you've got like a week and a half later, you're going to Adam McGill camp.
Going to the Adam McGill camp.
Reynolds. Can you believe there's 5 spots still open in that?
Really? I think I'll already be booked up. I mean,
I thought it would be too, but
can't miss an opportunity like that.
right. Last time I heard there's 5 of them, so hopefully people just forgotten and take advantage of that, because he did a camp for us before and did really well. So I'm excited to see what you guys learned. So, but then 2 days or the next day after that, you got the Iowa State Fair.
Yep.
And you get a little break before we get back after it. So, and you got football coming up, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So not much of a break for you, is there?
Nope. I mean, between this series and then the other series that I've been running, not much of a break in between. This month has been back-to-back races. We had a Iowa race earlier this month, I'm pretty sure. and then we went down to Ruby Springs, Missouri, and then we went. We were supposed to go to Cahokia, but flooded. So
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Derek, I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, it was really cool to have you, and I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Sure Chris does too.
Yeah, we'll see you in a week and a half. Can't believe it's already.
Chris, how is Derek coming through scoring?
How does Derek come through scoring? The correct way?
You ever have to yell at him?
No.
I'd be scared. Too scared to get yelled at. I don't want to mess with that.
No, I was just telling Derek, I'm like, I really haven't seen it. He's been there, and it happens with a lot of racers. We're in our mode working, but I'm like, I really haven't seen Derek at all this year. So we were just talking before we started the podcast. It's weird that he's there, but just different things happening.
It's hard to get used to on the new wheelers also.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, start keeping a little bit longer. That happens when Chris is around. So, but thank you for coming on, Derek, and look forward to seeing you not this weekend, but next weekend.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
See you later.
Family guy.
All right. See ya.
See ya. I could just tell on Derek's face he was wanting to bust out the Prius questions, but I think he kind of bit his tongue there, so he didn't. Knowing that you're scoring him, that I better not say nothing.
Oh, a Prius reference. It's there was one in the comments, so
that was kind of funny. Saturday, I shot you that picture. Was it Saturday? No, Sunday. We were out to eat, and I knew.
What are the odds that you're following me?
I was just going to say, I think I was there first, Chris. Come on now.
It was just weird that, we landed up at the same spot. That, it was my father-in-law's birthday, and that's the spot he chose, and that's where we went. And lo and behold, I see Tracy, and then I hear you're there too. So, yeah.
The dinner just got better, didn't it?
It was good food.
And then I go to leave, and I thought I'd seen your Prius, and I sent you that picture. I couldn't stop laughing. Well, no, that's my mother-in-law's.
It was my mother-in-law. And no, I didn't ride in it.
Oh, that was too good. Trace and I was laughing. So
good, because they have two. But I don't have one. So
cool. Well, I'm excited on this next one because I think this is probably the most overlooked insurance policy in the industry. So,
yeah, and he's a lot to do with the Heartland as well. So
yeah.
So let's go ahead and bring him on. I think he's done eating, as he says he was going to eat real quick. I'm like, where's our dinner? We don't get to eat. Maybe after the podcast.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do a drum roll for him.
Oh, you better work on that.
Oh, no, that's too late, I guess. Are you there, Steve?
I am.
Welcome.
What's going on?
We're getting ready for a couple big races.
Yeah.
And Tire Spine, as always, with Steve Mueller and Alan, right?
Yep, Alan's my right-hand man.
Yep. You guys are we're always looking forward to it. I show people all the time pictures of the big TV and people out there watching, and just your whole setup there. In case somebody doesn't know, it's obviously your event. What would you call it? The live.
Oh, live stream.
Live stream. There you go.
Yeah.
But and that's something you really just started a couple years ago, right?
I've always kind of played with it, even in the early days of Carlisle. Like, we would try to stick a cell phone, live up on the corner of the tent, or kind of something like that. And it just kind of just progressed, and I learned more and bought more equipment and played with it more. And now here we are,
Yeah. Well, first off, your number one thing for being there is keeping you like in our industry is obviously you're the owner of Tire Spines.
Yes, that is true.
And you've been with Tire Spines for a while now, but when did you actually purchase it?
I took over Tire Spine officially, I think it was April 1st of 2023.
Okay.
And then my good friend Cody Willenberg, who he owns CW Motorsports over here in Effingham, Illinois, he owned it, and he was the one that purchased it from Dwight and Terry, the original creators of it. But he quickly found out he was too busy with his big business, multiple businesses, rental properties. He just was having a hard time keeping up with it. So I was doing all the trackside support for him, and helping all the racers out and everything. And one day he's like, I can't keep up. I got too much going on. Would you be interested in taking it over? And I said, sure. So here we are.
Well, the one thing I notice before we get into the detail on Tire Spine is there's a lot of work goes on at some of these races. I've seen, like Ironman, the Heartland, back when we were doing AXCCs, I think the Ultra 4s, you're very busy in right now. That's a lot of work that goes into that.
It is
mounting these.
Yep, it is. It's no matter what system you choose or run, they're all a labor of love to install. The concepts are all kind of the same, just different ways to go about it. It's labor at the end of the day. But the one thing that we do different than others is we will actually install the product for you. And it's really popular because sometimes people just don't want to mess with it. They're here, take it, give it back to me when it's ready. And it works out pretty well that way. I mean, we're very fast and efficient at it. Because we do it all the time, where somebody that gets one, brand new and has never done it before, they may struggle and have trouble with it, and it may take them a long time. We get those phone calls daily of people just struggling. They can't figure it out. It's the tools do all the work for you, but you got to know how to use the tools, right? So we absolutely will. We offer install services. We unfortunately can't go to every race, every track, everywhere. Just it has to be cost effective for us to travel and do these. But people ship them to us all the time. We'll install them here right at the shop and ship them back out to you. Or you can get it to somebody that's traveling, or it's not uncommon that if we're going to a race, a friend brings the tires and wheels, and we'll grab them from that event from the friend and get them done and then take them back or whatever. We're more than happy to work with you guys and do whatever we can to try to help. But a lot of people really like that we'll just install them for you. So not free, unfortunately, because it is labor.
Sure.
But I do want to announce, and Chris has it on the screen here, what we are going to do for the Heartland to help everybody out. And this is kind of a podcast, I guess, exclusive. We're going to do we're 10% off on all ATV spines for the Heartland, and then free install at the Heartland. So you can get a install, but it's a limited deal for Heartland. And if you're not going to make the Heartland, whatever, that's fine. You can still use the discount code Heartland 2025 at checkout on our website, tire-spine.com. And, you still get the 10% discount, but we can ship them to you. So those are going to be at the Heartland that need spines. You definitely have an opportunity to make it a little easier for you. Like I said, we'll get them installed at the Heartland and give you 10% off if you use the discount code and you're going. So very cool for the Heartland.
Yeah. Steve, how long does it take you to put a tire spine inside a tire?
I'm not as fast as Dwight and Terry used to be. I think on a 2011 9 Sport Quad, I think 8 minutes.
Okay.
So Everybody's like, what? But Dwight, you can actually go on our YouTube. They installed one in 30 seconds. I mean, it's all on how quick and efficient you are and use the tools, right? The tools do all the work. You just got to know how to use the tools. So
Gotcha.
I'm just kind of a, old fluffy fat guy. So I kind of take my time. So
Gotcha. When do you plan on arriving at the Heartland?
That's a good question. I think what's going to happen for us is we're going to leave here as soon as Alan gets off work Wednesday night next week. And we're going to probably drive straight through. It's about a 7-hour drive for us. So we'll probably get there really late Wednesday night to be ready to go first thing Thursday morning. When are the gates opening? Is it Thursday morning?
Whenever you get there.
Well, I mean, general racers.
Yeah, so they can, Wednesday morning or Thursday morning.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be there. Thursday morning. If we know you're coming and we have spines to do, we'll get those knocked out as fast as you can get there. Please give us time to get them installed. Don't show up an hour before the race and hope that they get installed that fast. Give us some time because we're also doing the live stream, so we've got a lot of technical stuff going on in the background here for the Heartland, which we'll get into here in a minute. But I did just see that comment come through. It's a very good question. The lifespan of the spine really depends on the use case, right? So let's just say you go flat and you run the Baja 1000, you could kill that spine very quickly. However, on most of the GNCC Woods endurance racers, especially on sport ATVs, I don't know if Joe Lutz is on, but we literally replaced his spines after 4 years on the same set of 4. So if you take care of the spine, it takes care of you. And Andy, you always say it, it's a great insurance policy, and that's the case. Get yourself to the finish line, get yourself to the podium, and then replace the tire or whatever, and that'll just keep the life of that spine going. And we can take it from that old tire to a new tire at the end of the season to another tire. Heat and friction is what we're fighting at all times. So it's all over the board on life expectancy. So, but generally speaking, about 3 years is pretty average in what we see on Woods endurance racers. So
So I have follow-up comment. So he is on Fingen's on his 3rd season. So
yep, not uncommon whatsoever. So you always hear that people talk about you could break an anvil. It's no different. Like I could give it to a racer and he could go kill one in 30 seconds, and then I could have guys on like Joe on their 4th year of the same set. It's more towards 3 years average, but some teams put a lot of prep and effort and freshen them up, like our desert racers running the Baja 1000, stuff like that. Obviously, they're going to put a brand new fresh set in for that one race, and then what they'll do is they'll rotate them out to like a practice set of tires or, a backup or a spare set of tires. They won't be mainline, spines basically. But those are also big mileage races too, right? The Baja 1000, even though it's the 1,000, I think it was 2 years ago, it was almost 2,000 miles total, so it all just depends. But Woods endurance, about 3 years is pretty common. So
2 quick things for you, Steve, on this is I know we talk a lot about the install. And sometimes I wonder when people hear about an install, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or I don't, you know what I mean? That can almost be a scary point. But something I've always thought, you tell me if I'm wrong here, if that was the main reason I think, or I've been led to believe is that is so hard to put in is because you want it tight. You want it fitting in there properly. To where if we just grab something, we've all heard of people putting the big noodles in there, the swimming noodles and stuff, and they don't last. And I think that's the reason. And it is because they're so loose and just jumping around. So when you take that investment, part of that investment is that it correctly fits and it's tight. And that is how it lasts long, correct?
That is exactly correct. The other aspect of that too is we're a one-piece solid design. And that does aid in, I shouldn't say aid, it does go into the factor of the install, right? Because we have to corkscrew the spine down into the tire is the overarching concept, where there's other products on the market that are multi-cell pie pieces, individual pieces. But where that also can come into a problem is if you get a hole big enough in your tire, those start coming out. So if you spend a little extra time on the install, and with a solid one-piece design, you pretty much have to have the entire, and we've seen it many times. Andy's seen it back in the AXCC days, in Oklahoma and places like that, that the terrain was just brutal. The only way that spine could come out is if the entire tire comes apart or comes off completely. So it's not uncommon whatsoever to go to woods races and you're running through the woods and you can see other products literally laying on the side of the track because the hole's big enough that they're coming out. So the one-piece design was actually at the request of the military, and that's where it originally was designed from, was because they wanted a solid one-piece design. So it can add a little bit of difficulty, but it also pays off in the long term and in the longevity because we do want to compress it in there. There is another factor to it too, is no manufacturer's tires are the same size. There's variations in all of them. They all measure things differently. Their templates are different across each other, where we have to kind of shoot the middle of the road. So, a 2011 by 9 for a sport quad from GBC is going to measure different than the Maxxis. It's going to measure different than the Obor. So we have to kind of shoot the middle road there and come up with an average dimension basically to fit those different tire manufacturers. So for an example, a GBC might be a little smaller than the Maxxis or Obor or whatever. So we also account for the compression, and that goes back into the fitment, right? The more we can compress in there, the better overall it's going to last and hold you up longer. So there's so many different factors that kind of go into it, but hopefully some of those points help.
Yeah. And I remember, so I've been a big believer in these since I first seen them. I think it was at Power Sports Show, if I remember right, in Indianapolis, where there was a big 1-inch hole sod went through the side, and you could not tell if there was not air in there. It blew me away. But even though I was kind of sold on it there, I know you're going to remember what I'm about ready to tell you. I'm not really proud of it, but Tire Spine should be proud of it. When I ask you if you remember, maybe you don't, but remember if you remember what the score was at Loretta's.
I don't remember the score, but I remember the outcomes. if you had spines, you were coming across the line. If you didn't, you weren't.
Exactly. Yeah. That was, and I'm not knocking any other brand when I say this, by no means, but if you want a proving ground, we should have been able. I wish Tire Spines would have made a video of that day, because literally on that 13-mile track down there, and it was a tire killer, for some reason on the side-by-sides. ATVs didn't have hardly any problems, but I think it was just because the wider,
and the weight
on the pass. But literally the worst littering that we did down there was throw all the other different components out on the track. And I remember one gentleman, and I won't mention the product, but one gentleman came up to me afterwards and was all excited. And he had been out walking, and he had enough to do like 2 tires, if I remember right, of other products, because he's finding them all over the place. And I remember seeing a car come in with your product. And I think it was maybe Terry was talking to me about this and had grabbed me and walked me over and showed me. There was nothing left of the tire. I don't know how that could have been, but I mean, it was gone. Looked like a semi-tire had blown, but the spine was still there. Yep. I have no idea
Yep.
But we're seeing all these other products, thousands and thousands of dollars thrown on the trails, with pieces of rims and tires and stuff. And if I remember, I thought it was like 27-1 or 27-0. And I mean that, like 27 vehicles lost that product out on the track. And I think if there was one, it was like what I was telling you, the tire was completely gone and the spine was still there, but parts of it had, started to come across because they were basically using that for a tire, and
you're exactly right. And that also goes into the cost. The other products on the market require maintenance. We generally don't. I mean, I say generally, like we don't have requirements that you have to open up that tire and stick more lube in it, do any of that kind of stuff. Like once it's in there, it goes. Where you have to be careful with some of the other products on the market because they require constant maintenance or constant replacement because of the multi-cell design. You can end up with individual ones worn, popped. I mean, some of them still rely on air. So whatever compromised your tire to begin with can compromise those, and it'll start a chain reaction in the multi-cell design, or you have to re-lube them frequently. And they're not cheap. I mean, I can't say much about the spines. They're not cheap, but at the same time, if you're constantly every race having to go in and maintenance them, lube them, replace them, it just adds up at nickels and dimes. And we hear that feedback a lot too. Like they make the switch from one product to us or whatever. It's like, I put these in there and I almost forget they're even in there. And that's exactly like Loretta's. It's a perfect example. They forget, or, they're during the heat of the race, like, things, we get it. Things happen. Fence posts, barbed wire, take the terrain out of the mix, but all these other factors, and you guys building the tracks may not even realize that there's an old T-post, metal T-post or something on the edge of a field. And until, the ruts get into it, that's where we see some of the biggest carnage. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the terrain itself, rocky and stuff. It's the unseen stuff that can get you. And if it, especially like those T-posts, there's a really good picture on our Facebook. One of the Indiana racers in a side-by-side, he literally tore a basketball-sized chunk of the tire out from one of those T-posts, and all you see is the spine sticking out, and he finished and made it on the podium in that race with literally a basketball-sized hole in his tire, So the stories like that coming out of Loretta's, Davis, Oklahoma, it never ends. I've got an entire folder of pictures of just the most nastiest stuff you can imagine. Even guys breaking the wheels. That's really big on the side-by-sides. The rocks will get between the brake caliper and literally knock holes inside the wheels. That's another one. If you had the other products, they can start coming out of that hole or start popping, we just ride up in there. So the foam, you kind of talked about the pool noodles, and so we've pulled those out. The foam is not something out of the Walmart dumpster. It really isn't. It's extremely expensive, but it's really lightweight, and that's probably the biggest thing that is a misconception out there. They are very, very lightweight and very, very comparable to everything else out on the market, including air stuff. I just shipped out 4 of them the other day. Now, granted, there's some shipping, packaging, and lube and stuff, but when I ship out a set for a sport quad, it's like 10 pounds total for all 4, including the lube, the packaging, everything. So, I mean, you're talking a couple pounds tops, for that added insurance. It's very lightweight, and people that put their hands on it, pick one up, they're very shocked at how light they are. So
something else, I see Joe Lutz is on here, and he commented, he said the best investment money can buy. And that's something when we talk about tire spines at our series, or whoever takes the time to listen, when we talk about them, and I hope I don't say this wrong, Steve, because sometimes I always feel like I'm downgrading when I say it like this, but it's the only way I can say it. And I've talked to people about it being the best insurance policy. And what I mean by that is you going out and racing, I'm going to use another example, okay, real quick before I get to your product. But when my boys were racing, we would only use a Honda factory axle. And a Honda factory axle, you can bend them. I've never seen one break. And these aftermarket axles, you're sitting on the side out there because you broke an axle. Sure, they might say that we'll replace it if you break it, but don't help me during the race,
Exactly.
And I can finish a race and my axle's wobbling, but I can finish. And this is a sport. I hate to say it's so expensive because I don't know if you've ever had somebody. I haven't, so I guess I'm blessed there. But like in dance, or even wrestling, or traveling baseball, it all gets expensive by the time you put not just the money, but the time that you put into it and the traveling that our guys do. Whether you're going across the country, across the state, we've got people come from North Platte, Nebraska, clear up in Pengelly, Minnesota, by the border, everywhere. And when they make that far of a trip, half the time when we talk about when it gets to the cost, okay, people are like, oh man, I just can't do that. But that's the same people all the time. I'm not trying to be mean, but we'll put 2 or 3 different graphics on their quad a year, or change, stuff like their underwear, you know what I mean, on the quad all the time for looks and stuff like that. But this is one of those products that I always say it does not make you faster. I believe it don't make. That's just my thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily, when I think of them, I don't think it's something that's going to be like a built motor. I'm going faster. But what this does, it complements every single thing else that we do on that product or on that machine to get me across the finish line. If these guys, you hear these ungodly amounts of money, but let's just say it's a $10,000 machine you're out there racing. And you put all this money, you put all this time, you put all this race fuel, all your gear, everything, the mileage you're putting on it. And then how many times, Chris, do you see us pulling somebody back or comes to scoring, you got a flat and they pull in and, whether it be the first lap or fourth lap and they're done, So that one tire costs them the race and all that money they put into it. Where if you just run spines, especially like the Heartland, where you're going for so long, but when you're going to be there, you're offering, and I know you and I've talked about, just like anything else, the cost is going up on them, so I know what you're doing when you give a 10% discount and you're going to turn around and mount them for free. Man, if I was in the need, like, heck, I might even talk to you about some myself for the Ranger or something. Anything that Chris drives, I could probably use them. So, but
it's funny that you just mentioned that because we'll usually go over to GNCC Ironman, and that's probably the number one comment that I get over there. Like, you're installing them for free here right now? Like, everybody's so surprised. Like, yeah, we are. So
that's really cool. So not to keep going there, but it just. It's to me, it's how people look at a product. You know what I mean? And you can spend money to go fast, but come when we start talking about tire spines and the insurance policy, it's about surviving it and making everything else you're doing complement it and be able to finish it. So
you did say one thing that I do want to clarify. You said it may not necessarily make you faster. I don't know if you remember the last time I was on the podcast. Actually,
yeah, you did. About the short course.
The short course. We have more short course racers, even in the Pro 4 trucks. Matter of fact, one of them this past weekend at ERX finished second place on the podium with a right front flat. But what I wanted to let people know is the short course racers, the most weight conscious racers there are that we've ever worked with, that stuck their neck out there and tried them, are gaining speed. And if you could imagine what's happening when you corner a machine, the tire is rolling over in the corner with the spine in there. It's keeping that tire straight and allowing it to actually slide like you're wanting to in the corner to an extent, and not rolling that tire over and getting grip and going up on the bicycle and everything else and slowing you down. So the short course racers, I even have them in some of the circle track dirt cars, micro sprints, and stuff like that now, and they're all seeing the same thing. They're able to really lower their air pressures to gain as much of a contact patch and grip as possible, and they're gaining speed. On the ERX track, that racer was gaining 0.4 of a second on his lap times with spines versus not. And you think 0.4 of a second, that's nothing in Woods XC, right? But on a short course, it absolutely is. So
it's like 30 seconds in the woods.
So it all depends on your genre and stuff, but kind of getting into the short course stuff, it has actually opened up the eyes that, you know what, we are actually gaining speed. So may not necessarily hold true in Woods and XC because of the environment and the terrain, but it is a thing. So
have you ever mounted any on a Prius?
You asked this question last time he was on here.
I did.
I have not.
Maybe he's done it now.
No, not a Prius. They're doing a bunch more military stuff, but not a Prius yet. So
I see Dylan Youngblood just posted things saying that his set that he have a few sets that have lasted 4 to 5 seasons.
Yep. And
if Dylan's lasting, Mr. Youngblood, if that's lasting him 5 seasons, that's doing pretty good.
Yep. I agree.
Huh. Well, we appreciate that. Obviously, you're going to be there at Tire Spines on hand. If I want some, is that something, though, that I should get a hold of you, reach out to you before so you know exactly what to bring?
Yeah, good point. Absolutely, yes. Actually, I just had mentioned it. We are working through a pretty good-sized military order right now. And we're pretty backed up. I do have inventory in stock ready to go for the Heartland in preparation. But if there's anything odd or size-wise or anything like that, guys definitely need to let us know that they're interested or whatever, bring them to Heartland, whatever's going on. But the best thing that guys can do is go to our website, tire-spine.com, and you order the spines for your tire size. Right on there, there's a sport ATV section, a utility section, side-by-sides. Get on there, use the code Heartland, all lowercase, 2025 for the Heartland. That'll get you 10% off, and we'll do free install on new spines only. Sorry, all you guys that want swaps. New spines only are free install. But if you do have swaps for Heartland, let us know. Get a hold of us. Reach out to us on Facebook, email, phone, whatever. Just let us know that, we whatever you need for the Heartland, or you need us to bring it to the Heartland or whatever. So.
All right, so we sure appreciate that. So we got a race coming up called the Heartland Challenge. And we started talking about, well, you'll get used to it. It'll grow on you, I promise.
It has. It definitely has.
So obviously with this live stream that you're putting on, what I'd like for you to do, I know we're running late now, but this is well worth it. Will you just kind of walk us through how you do it, what you do, how it gets to the TV then for everybody to watch, or on your cell phone, And the biggest thing that I've been asked, and I think you and I had talked, I hadn't had hardly anybody had gotten a hold of you. So I don't know if they're waiting, but I've tried to tell them how you do it with download and use your phone. And when I say that, it's a 30-second conversation. It turns into a 5-minute because first thing you'd hear is, man, I got $1,000 phone. You know what I mean? I don't want my phone out there, but we've seen only Matt Horton has been able to lose his phone, I think, if I remember right.
Yep.
But there's a lot of different ways and safe ways to do that. And it's just absolutely incredible that you can do this, with the cell phone. So will you kind of go through that right quick and describe it, and then let them know what they need to do, getting a hold of you to make sure that they can be a part of this?
Yeah. So basically we bring in a bunch of equipment at the end of the day. I mean, and I say equipment, but basically it's a program that we just run that does all the live streaming. It basically brings all this stuff into one picture, right? Or one box. And we set everything accordingly in this program. And then it gets streamed out. But part of that equipment also is we have fixed cameras that'll literally be stationary, on the fences or whatever. And we can switch back and forth between those. But what really helps, and it not only helps the live stream, but it also helps the racers too. Because if you have family that couldn't make it to the race, or sponsors that couldn't make it, or you want to show sponsors, hey, this is what's going on, or this is what this race is like, we can get live video from you during the race, whether it be an ATV or a side-by-side. I guess side-by-side is not applicable here at Heartland this time, but yes, ATVs, we can do live video on it. And what we do is we download an app to your smartphone, and we configure that to basically send the video through your data plan out to the internet, and then we grab it and bring it into the live stream. So what that kind of basically looks like I said, it uses your smartphone. And I know some people are probably cringing as soon as they heard that, because I know racers myself that it doesn't even leave the RV maybe the whole weekend, right? So but don't get too scared. It's really not that bad if you take some precautions ahead of time to take care of that phone, right? So you brought up a good point on Matt Horton losing his at the 2023 Heartland.
2020.
So basically what Matt did is he figured out a way to fasten that cell phone to his chest protector. We had some other racers that went to Walmart or whatever and got some type of cell phone holder for a car, whatever you can come up with for a mount, as long as it doesn't obstruct the camera, front or rear. You just tell us which one to use. We can grab that video. So if you want to put it on your chest protector, on your handlebars, on the rack of your utility, whatever, we can work with it. But some of the precautions that you need to keep in mind is most of the time it's just going to end up dusty. I mean, unless we get a huge downpour or storm.
No. Say that.
There's not going to be too much mud or anything or water to ruin it, right? And cell phones are pretty robust anymore, even to some water. So you basically just got to have a good mount. And then basically the other thing that you would like to consider, and it's probably one of the most important pieces, is a tether. Think about, hey, if it falls out of this mount, the duct tape breaks, whatever you're doing to mount this thing, let's give it a backup plan, right? Let's give it a plan B. Let's give it an insurance policy, right? Like, figure out a way to get a tether on it, whether it's a bunch of zip ties daisy chained together to your grab bar or your chest protector. If that mount lets go, it's still going to be hanging there, right? No different than your engine stop tethers, right? Kind of the same concept. So if you have a good mount, a good tether, the last tip, and it actually saved Matt Horton. He had a pretty bad day. He was on and off the quad, maintenance, mechanical issues, the phone worked loose, whatever. It was live and it fell off and ended up down by his foot peg. And then eventually made it off the quad. But the last tip really is the Find My Phone app. We could see live video from it. We could tell him, hey, it's in the grass. We could tell you that. It didn't look like it got ran over, and then he used his Find My Phone app and went right to it and got it while the race was still happening, actually. I think he switched riders or something like that and went and got his phone. So it sounds scary, but it's not if you kind of think ahead a little bit. And Chris has got some talking points down there. If anybody is interested in doing this, get a hold of us. We have to actually pay a fee on our end per user. That's kind of new this year because of that app. It was a change they made in the app. But if you're interested, shoot us an email. Let us know that you're interested in doing the live video, and we can help walk you through the the tips and the tricks. A couple other things to know about it is the app itself on your end. You have to subscribe. It's $10 a month for that subscription. But what people have always done in the past, as soon as the race is over, they just go in and cancel the subscription. So it's not free for you. You got to download and subscribe to the app for $10, but for $10, you just cancel it once you're done, and don't forget to cancel it. So it's not like it's a huge deal. A couple other things to consider there is charging. It's a 10-hour race, right? So not everybody's Iron Manning it. Some are, some are not. But you got to keep in mind how come up with a charging plan for that device. Basically, if Alan on the back end sees the video, we'll use it. If you can't get us the video, we can't show anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can keep the device charged or work it into your rider plan of swapping your riders out, maybe this rider has it, and then while this rider's on, the phone's charging or something like that. Those are all kind of plans that we've seen teams come up with to basically do this. There is another caution to this is it uses a lot of data. If you have a limited data plan on your cell phone, this probably is not something for you. To give you a ballpark idea, you're probably in the ballpark of 20 to 25 gigs for the whole race, all 10 hours. Video is very heavy when it comes to data usage. So I think most smartphones anymore kind of require an unlimited data plan. At the track, Verizon and AT&T both have really good, I think if I remember right, 5G coverage. So it works very, very well at Fort Dodge for using your cell phone. So even I think T-Mobile worked very, very well there for live video in the past. So, and again, like it's really good for not only the racer, to be able to show family, friends back home, but we've even seen the footage, or people ask for the footage to send to their sponsors and say, hey, I was highlighted on the live stream, you can go check it out, stuff like that. So very, very cool stuff. Hopefully the weather holds out for us. I know it kind of jinxed us there with that rain comment, but yeah.
After last weekend, we don't talk about those.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't a good weekend. That sounds like so.
So my biggest thing is with everybody is like you just keyed on it there, but that is such an opportunity to be a part of that video, and Kawasaki, I know, had some, I think people in Japan last year were watching it, in Lincoln, Nebraska, they had a watch party watching it and stuff. And so it's so cool. And, your family and friends, and the first time you did it, it was like people that couldn't be there are like glued to it, and you can watch, and they're just watching for you to come through this section, or get that live video off of you. So,
well, one of the other cool things is we'll have the big TV again set up at the track. So, if your racer isn't coming through or something like that, that was one of the things I didn't even think about. Guys from pit crew and stuff would come up to the TV and watch the live video to see if they saw their racer, pulled off to the side of the track or something like that. So there's all kinds of neat benefits to it at the end of the day. But yeah, we'll have the TV again.
Nice.
Now, Steve, where were you going to live stream this to? Is it off Tire Spine or?
I was going to work with you guys on that. Mm-hmm. We have some new options available to us. We could we'll figure it out. We could put it to the Iowa Facebook page, YouTube. We can do multiple places simultaneously now. So we'll just work with you guys and either put it on the Iowa page or the Heartland page or YouTube, whatever you guys want to do. We might just do it to Tire Spine too, but
okay.
We'll get the information out.
We can make sure we do a couple of live reports that week too, to let everybody give live updates on how it's working, what we're doing with it and stuff. So
I do have a microphone and the app for you to go around on your wheeler and do some interviews and stuff. You can be the interviewer this time, Andy.
All right. No, I look forward to it. Anything to keep me away from scoring. That's all I care about. So
we're even throwing around the idea of getting in there and doing a podcast ourselves. So we'll see how the events work out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys did that last time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So just to clarify this, I know that people's going to be asking, and I think I've told them correctly. We're only doing the live stream for the adult on Saturday, correct?
That's my plan. I did indirectly hear that you were going to ask me to do some of the kids races on Friday. I will try my hardest to have everything up and functioning by then. It may be only a couple cameras, but we might be able to squeak something out even for the youth.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Well, man, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything that we've left out that we need to let me ask you this. If we end up doing the kids, which would be phenomenal, or the adults, at what time that week should be the last point that I come up and talk to you? Safe to make sure we're up and going.
I think in the past, the drivers' meeting is the cutoff, right? So I think I can't remember what your schedule is for the drivers' meetings usually, or the riders' meetings. But that would be our last chance to hurry up and get it done, basically. But that's going to be pretty hard this year with the new license fees. I only have so many that are purchased, so it would be very best to let us know as soon as possible if you're interested. I don't even think we'll be able to get time-wise to have the youth. And I don't even know how that would work on the youth side anyway, to get phones mounted to them. So while we might have the fixed cameras up to get some youth coverage live, I don't know that we'll have actual cameras on riders for that race, but definitely.
That's how I'd recommend it. I don't think you really need them on the riders, that one. So
right. Yeah. So definitely. Probably the riders meeting is going to be your drop dead last chance. And we really should know long before that if you're interested and willing to do it. So,
okay.
Riders meeting is 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Is there one for the youth?
Yep. It is 10 a.m. on Friday.
Okay. So we'll probably be there to let the youth teams know that whether we're going to go live with them or not, at least, fixed camera footage of them. So we'll kind of see how everything pans out time-wise.
So once we found out we weren't able to do side-by-sides at, this year's first time ever, we haven't had side-by-sides at a Heartland. But when we figured that out, Steve, sorry, I didn't mean to slam you there, Steve, but just a situation where we can take time this time. We're not rushed, people aren't having to go to driver's meeting in their gear and what I mean, and that kind of stuff. So hopefully it can be a much more relaxed, if there's questions, we're not rushing through it, so we'll be able to have that a lot earlier now to answer any questions, and some questions might pop up afterwards that we can, address. So, and then our lineups and stuff like that, getting them in the impound, getting them in the lineup to take off and stuff. So, so it should be much more, I want to say, I don't know if you can say relaxed, but, enjoy it more, I would say, and get the recognition and stuff, of what you're doing, I think will be a lot better. So
absolutely
looking forward to that. So
we'll be running around with our heads cut off, but they'll be relaxed.
Most of us, Steve, will be. Others will be on his four-wheeler doing interviews.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to even go there. Never mind.
Oh.
But, Steve, the other thing on the live stream, I think we will be probably, I know I'm going to be walking around. I'll probably be running, but anyway, going around getting some stuff. But it's also an opportunity that we might be bringing some racers in to talk to the announcers and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
During it, so.
No, that's a very good point. By all means, if interesting things are going on with your team, your race, all that information helps. Like, the Tire Spine trailer is where the announcers will be for the live video. Don't hesitate to come up there and poke your head in the door. Or maybe don't even worry about knocking. I mean, during the race, just poke your head in there and let the announcers know, hey, our quad's out. It rolled down the hill. Whatever. Like the more you guys interact, the better the live stream is overall. And you hit the nail on the head there, Andy.
I agree. So cool. Yeah, there might even be a chance. I know last time we pretty much ran out of people to talk. The guys were in there so long. So I know you were upset with me at the time, and I apologize, Steve, but we were forced to bring the only person we could find, and that happened to be the one that wasn't busy, and that was Chris, so even Chris came in and did some talking, commentating. I was actually surprised. I thought I did a good job, but yeah, so hopefully we don't have to go that far down in the barrel, but we'll try to. We're working on that, getting some announcers right now and getting some perspectives. I've got it set up. I think you and I talked a little bit with some racers that I know that do a good job of communicating and stuff. They're going to race and then are already scheduled to come in when they're not racing and do some talking, commentating a little bit. So
that would be awesome.
Looking forward to it. So
nope,
any last things that you want to throw in there, Steve, or anything like that?
I wish, is Walker going to be there? Have you heard?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going to miss Walker announcing. That was a pretty good time in 2023. So the announcers got some big shoes to fill, and hopefully we find Walker's log from the challenge section that Walker really loved the log. So I'm looking forward to seeing Walker's log again.
So you're saying don't nail that one down. Make sure we leave that one loose.
Yeah, that the Walker log cannot be fastened.
All right.
Oh.
Sounds good. Well, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on and helping us get everything figured out and straightened out so people understand what's going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing you here in what, week and a half or something? About a week?
Yeah. We leaving next Wednesday. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Is the track ready? You got any secrets or any intel?
No, we're gonna keep it a secret.
Oh, okay. All right.
There is a Heartland Challenge section.
There is a challenge.
Yeah, okay. There's a Walker log in it too.
Yeah.
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 So
very cool.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing you here shortly.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Coming on.
Yep. See ya.
Well, I know we went over on time there, but that was a lot of great info. I mean, can't recommend Tire Spines enough to anybody, but then let alone what he's doing, Tire Spines and Steve and Alan with the live stream is, it's just so cool. Something you wish you could do at every race and hardly ever get to see it,
Yeah, that's a lot of work that's going behind the scenes into the Heartland for the live stream. So got to give Steve and the team props on that. It's kind of an added bonus we've had in 2023. So
a lot of years built up to get to this point, and Steve's been a big help with that. So, and everything like you just mentioned, he's doing behind the scenes to make that work, and he's still offering to mount spines for free. That blows me away. I was not expecting that, so that's really cool. So
yeah. So, still time to sign up. We've had a couple teams even this week sign up. We're going to cut off the website signups Thursday, 5 p.m. Next Thursday, 5 p.m. But we're also having the option you can sign up at the track as well. So
nice.
Yeah. Still
And
like to see some more kids teams sign up.
Yeah, we gotta get more kids. You know, the second day is really only due to one factor, because we could do just like we've done in the past with the youth, you know, in the morning, and the adults in the afternoon and evening. But there's only one factor that we couldn't do, and you know, as well as I do, Chris, is trying to figure out time to get those 50s in there. You know,
Yep.
those 50s are so important to us. They're such a hoot to watch. I just hope there's enough to get signed up that, you know, basically we're paying for a second day of insurance and second day of ambulance crew and everything, just so we can add those 50s in there. So please get signed up, or at least get a forum, you know, a team formed, and let us know if you need help. We'll definitely reach out, try to get find you a teammate if we need to. Need as many of those 50s as we can, to, you know, to make it make sense. So, but yeah, sounds like the Iowa State Fairs is starting to get some more signups too. How many are we getting close to the free tickets being used up?
Yep. We've had 60. So somebody's even signed up as, or 2 people signed up during the podcast here. So first 75 sign up for the Iowa State Fair Cup. Get a free ticket to the fair.
Nice.
And it's, you know, depending on what class you're running, you can run multiple classes. So
yeah,
as well, like A and double A have the option also to run the open class, or you're a B or C rider, you have the option of running the age class.
I was looking at even the juniors. Some of them will be racing. They could be in like the 90s super minis or 125s. You know, if you're the right age, you can race a 90, a 125 super mini, and potentially a junior. You know, so there's a lot of options there. Women, you know, we have the women's class, but they can also jump in an age class. We've seen some of those kids that are, you know, that 7, 8 years old that are still eligible for a 50, but can still race a 90. You know, allows them to get on the track a couple more times. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun that day. I think it's ran pretty smooth. Obviously, Chris, you know, the lineups, the gentlemen that are doing the lineups, and then the scoring is the toughest. And just to go through a couple of those things really quick, and then we'll move on. I know we're running late, but obviously pre-registration, you must pre-register. There's 0 registrations the day of the event. So we got to get pre-registered, get your spot. 15 is the cutoff for each class. So once that's full, it's full. So please get signed up. The other thing, Chris, that I know that we will definitely 100% put our foot down is you must have a number plate on the front and the rear. And that is so important because you guys are scoring so quick when they come by. If they miss you coming at you, then you can look down and see them away. So if you don't get scored, come talk to me afterwards. Don't go to Chris. Don't go to scoring. You know, you come talk to me and I can inform you why you didn't have it, or not why you didn't have it, but I can tell you why you didn't get scored, and that's because you didn't have a plate. So even if they know who you are, it's not one of those things. I know, Chris, when they're coming around, I don't know what it is for times, you know, minute and a half, 2 minutes, you know, maybe, or something.
We're usually under a minute lap.
Under a minute lap. So when you think about that, you know, I hear people in the past says, but they know who I am. Well, if you're under a minute, the whole race takes under a lap takes under a minute. You might be doing 3, you might be doing 5 laps. You guys are scoring sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9 people, maybe even more. You know, they ain't got time to look and see who it is. So give you guys and gals credit to do that. It's just the guys have to be, the racers have to be ready on their side of things to make sure that you guys can score properly. So, but yeah, look forward to that. That's always a fun time. I love the Iowa State Fair. I love being able to do that. Other thing I will throw out too, we have the opportunity, Chris, to do a a display again on Friday.
Yep.
It's right at the Grand Concourse. The busiest. You got to remember, Friday and Saturday of that week is the busiest time at the Iowa State Fair. So 1 million people come to the fair, and that's the busiest time. And it's the busiest spot right in front of the Grand Concourse on the main road right there in the center. And what it is every year we take the opportunity. We usually have some kids, we have an adult. We've always had side-by-sides in the past. But what I'd like to do is get maybe I'd love to have like a women's racer, maybe adult racer, and then maybe a kid or two is what we'd like. And if you're interested in doing that, you don't want a muddy machine there. We want it cleaned up, looking nice. But then that's a chance for you to put it on display right there for everybody to see it, kind of represent the race that's going to be happening the next day. But that'll be on Friday before. And we need to be in there, Chris. Was 8 o'clock, I think it was. We were getting there just right at the very beginning because we do drive them in there. So I think we do usually right at the very beginning, and we're usually there till what, 4 or 5? Yeah, somewhere around there. I think 4 or 5 would probably be about the latest that we would be there. So, but yeah, so a lot of fun, a lot of cool opportunity. If you have a sponsor, man, you don't get a better spot to advertise in the state of Iowa than on the Grand Concourse at the first Friday and Saturday of the state fair. So, yeah. So looking forward to that. Of course, we got the 2 days before. That's a 2-session deal. One Thursday, one Friday is the Adam McGill Riding School. It's going to be in Runnels. If you need to talk about that or need questions on that, let us know, and we'll make sure that you get the proper numbers that you need to be able to get a hold of people to get in. There's only 5 spots left, I've heard. So I'm really shocked.
Last I heard. So,
yep.
So, quick question popped through.
So this applies to the Iowa series as well, but are numbers on the hood sufficient, or would you prefer to see a plate on the bumper too? So if they are on the hood, if they're on the hood, they have to be big enough. You can't put like a 3-inch letter or number on there. So one, it has to have the correct background for the Iowa series. Okay. The state fair, we don't have to have the correct one, correct, Chris?
Correct.
So you just have to have a number on there. Is all we're worried about for the state fair. But the bigger, the better. Obviously, we would much prefer a plate. Now you can put that plate on the back of your chest protector also, and it's just fine. But on the front, we would much rather have a plate on there versus the hood. But once again, it's just anything that you can do to make it be seen easier is going to be better for you. So
real state, the number has to be 6 inches tall.
Okay. Yep. Good question, Connor. So.
Yep.
All right.
I know.
So a little bit on the race that we just had this last weekend. We'll give some updates. Okay. First of all, I got to thank the crew and everybody that busted their rear ends to getting that thing all put together, whether it being laid out, arrowed, everything. The landowners, with Thad Trump and Jake, his boy, them guys were all out there working. They worked before we got there. It was amazing. It was literally like almost a perfect weekend with the way everything came together. It was all set up. It was ready to go. Guys have been around at the kids course, the 50 course. They were all looking great. We knew we were going to get some rain. Honestly, we were praying. Unfortunately, I'll blame it on Paul Sirk because I know he was doing a rain dance when it started sprinkling. When we're eating there at Friday about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And my phone still showed us getting 3/4 of an inch. And then when it cracked, we heard the lightning and stuff and thunder, and it just all of a sudden just cracked, and it rained hard. I mean, in sheets, we seen that, and anyway, there was talk to Trump today, and Thad was telling me that we got almost 4 inches. I thought it was just a little over 3, but I guess at the track we got just almost 4 inches of rain on really in about 3 hours.
Sure.
I didn't send you that. I should have, but just to put it in perspective, we had kids, out playing in the river, right there, right next to the parking. They were playing in there. It wasn't even a foot tall,
Yep.
and when it went up there, it rose fast, and not just because of the rain that we had, but the rain north of it. There was anywhere from 4 to 7 inches north of us, and all that water's coming down. So that was the big scare. You could almost wrap this into the what's bugging Andy if you wanted to, but it's not. It's just one of those things where, and I know people get excited and they need to know, but I have people tell me like, well, why is he upset about this? Or, why, said that we could have drove out the next day. You could, and that's all fine and dandy, but I think you're thinking very, very small if you're one that would be talking like that. With the last week and a half that we've seen what's happened down in Texas, Chris, I think that's on the forefront of everybody's mind right now.
Still.
Yeah. So that night when I was very impressed, we had somebody from the sheriff's office. I think you might have been there when they came in, Chris. I know my wife and mother-in-law was telling me that they'd stopped in and said, hey, just checking on you type thing. But if something, if it starts to flood, we're going to be here for you. Give us a call, left a number for us. That's really cool for an area to be able to do that and think about, what's going on, an event like that. But when it started getting, just didn't let up. And we had some people just wanting to get out of there. And I can't blame it all with kids and stuff. And like I said, with what happened, you can see when you pull in, that is a flood ground. You see the meters out there on the road showing up to 5 feet, them things, it does flood there if that river goes out. So, when you have people coming up and asking about getting pulled out, it's not a question. Then it's obviously somebody's uncomfortable, and I don't blame anybody. And we called Trump. I keep saying Trump, Thad, and Thad put a team together in a split second. And I want to thank Jake and Thad. I know it was Jake's. Not Jake. Sorry, Jake was out there too, but Luke. And I think it was Luke's father-in-law or Luke's dad that was out there. And there was another gentleman. And then I also want to give a huge thanks to Jerry Beating. Jerry was out there and got a great conversation with Thad today about Jerry and how he really kind of kept things going and managing stuff and had the next person ready, getting pulled out, had them ready to go right to it. And that was huge. But that team right there, none of us were really involved in that. That was Thad and the people that his team and Jerry Beating that was there making that happen. And the coolest thing of all of them was seeing how everybody was working with each other and helping and knocking on doors and telling the neighbor. And, it solidified everything you ever hear about a race family. They really looked out for each other. But when it comes to the race and having to call it, when Thad came to me and said that, hey, we're getting a lot of rain. North of us is getting pounded. They've had at least 4 inches is what we were told. And all that rain's got to come down. And we heard that basically the river was going to be half full. I forget what time it was, like midnight or something like that. And by 9 o'clock the next morning, it had the potential of being to the top of the bank. And you just can't take that choice, that chance. You just can't.
Yeah.
So I've been asked by several people. I know that was a hard decision. And I tried to explain to them, yes, it's a hard decision to cancel or postpone a race, but that was the easiest decision in the whole weekend, was to make the call to say it's not worth it. We need to get people out. Was it early getting people out? Yep. Much rather be earlier than late, right? So I'm just proud of the whole team that was involved in that for making that very clear to us and what we needed to do and, following through with game plan that was brought up by Thad and his team to get everybody out. So I know my trailer, I think, was the last one. And Chris, we left there just about, I think it was right at 3 a.m. And we went back the next day. Then we got all the trailers out just to be safe. We had a couple 4-wheelers and the mule and stuff that was still there. We went back down the next day, Joe Lutz and I, and started picking stuff up and the flags. And I don't know if you've seen that picture I shared, but it's kind of cool. The only thing that wasn't blown down was the American flag standing up tall. It was just kind of an eerie sight when you got back there and you see it. And the ground was already, the water had receded, in the parking, people have asked, could we have drove out? Could we have done this? Yeah, you probably could have drove out the next day, especially the following day. We talked about doing it, postpone it until Saturday afternoon. We talked about postponing until Sunday. All this stuff is, you just don't make a decision like that really quick. Number one, the decision was when it started raining and kept going, as we start breaking it down on, okay, well, we need to check this area and we need to check this. And then it goes back to, okay, does it need to set longer? That means we need to postpone till afternoon, maybe. We go through all those channels of checking stuff off. But when you find out that everybody, if that thing, got out of its banks, that everybody would be in trouble, that's when everything gets thrown out, because you don't know that may not even go out of the banks until 2:00 the next day, or it might be 2:00 on Saturday or Sunday morning, when people are there. You don't know when that's going to happen. So part of the track was flooded. The kitty litter, a couple places that we call, back in there along the river. We don't get in the river by no means, but ones that were alongside of it, they were flooded. We would have lost ground. Could we have adapted to that? 100% we could have. But it just came down to a very simple decision, and that was, if part of our race family, if 1 or 2 or 3 or all of them is going to be in danger on a situation like that couldn't overcome, then we had to postpone. So
yeah,
that's what we did. There's been some questions. Is it postponed? Is it canceled? I don't have a great question for you. Trust me, we have been working on that since Saturday morning, trying to figure this stuff. There's a lot of things that play into it. It's not an easy thing. Again, you see some people ask about it and question it, and it makes it sound like, well, you just decide, but no, you don't. There's tracks that, it comes down to it. That's really hunting ground is what a lot of the places are. And we've got, situations where we promised we wouldn't be in there during that time because it ruins what they have the land for. So there's a couple places we just can't be in there late. So we're really working on that right now. I was really hoping we'd have maybe an idea or decision tonight so we can announce it. It's not the case. We're dealing with the landowners, multiple landowners right now, trying to figure some stuff out. And the best I can tell you is 100% there won't be a race this weekend. The following weekend is the Heartland Challenge. We won't have a race anywhere else but the Heartland Challenge. The following weekend being August 3rd, there will not be one because we have the state fair the next one. So that's all I can tell us right now is basically counting this weekend, the next 3 weekends, there will not be anything rescheduled. We've got a very short window, Chris, as you and I have talked, that we can make this happen. We're just trying everything right now, and we will let everybody know just as soon as possible. We know it's critical to get it out there as quick as possible. So obviously on the What's Bugging Andy, there's been some, I don't know if it was private stuff or whatever. And it doesn't bug me because I think it's kind of the same people or same conversations are going to happen every time. And some of it probably could be frustration, but everybody's called me and asked me like, hey, what in the world is this person thinking, or why would they say this? obviously it's a big inconvenience for anybody. I just want to say I'm proud of the people that helped. I'm proud of a lot of the racers that got out there helping. I think the core of the group knows exactly how important it was to get people out just in case. So I'm proud of them. The other ones, I think there's, if you are, conversations like that, whether it's our series or any other series that has to do that thing, you do not understand how tough it is behind the scenes to make that call, for what it's going to do, the after effects of it. So it's not an easy call. You do think of everything. Again, it's not just our series. Everybody's been affected by something like this. And you just got to work with them and do the best we can. So if somebody wants to voice an opinion like that, everybody's got their opportunity to voice. This is America. But it just don't get very far with me. Typically when I see that, Chris, I just take and go right over it. And it is what it is. Can't make everybody happy, but I would say 99% of our people understand why, even if you had to drive, we've got 3 hours to get down there with 3 vehicles. So I get it, but at the end of the day, I slept really well the next day knowing that we canceled the race on why we canceled it. And I'll just leave it at that. So.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Yep. But
I know it was a tough decision. People just got to respect. So much, like you said, goes into those decisions, and frankly, everyone's safety is more important than what ifs. Could I have or should I have?
yeah,
And we got to play it. They know you and I. We're always on the safe side. So, God forbid, we don't want anything to happen that's happening in Texas and other locations all throughout the U.S. this year. So
exactly. And I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did, but once again, Mr. I think you got the Marlboro Man and the Mountain Dew Man. They both come up with the name of Joe Lutz. So that's got to thank him. He stuck it out to the very end till we got everything picked up, and I just give him a lot of credit for doing that. So, but yeah, thanks to everybody that was a part of that. It was a good weekend all up to that point. So, but was right outside the only motel in Cahokia. And it was like the series owned the parking lots. We've seen a lot of trailers scattered and a lot of camping going on. And I apologize if I woke anybody up, but when we got there about 3:30 in the morning, and but yeah, it was neat to see, and we got to talk to a lot of people that next morning, and it's not the way you want it, but we've seen kids and adults with smiles on their face, and they were together, and that's what's most important. So
yep. So kind of switching gears, I forgot to mention this announcement that was shared with us earlier today from Chad Bodorf, but hot off the press. For the Heartland Challenge, Tylube is going to sponsor the youth and adult Ironman. So top 3 of those in each class will get a Tylube package consisting of 1 carb cleaner, 1 brake cleaner, chain lube, and air filter oil, 2 quarts of T4B synthetic blend oil, and a Tylube hat. So thanks, Chad, kind of going over and beyond what he does with the normal Top Gun, the Tylube Top Gun Awards for the series. He's stepping up once again and gonna take care of the Ironman classes for both youth and adults. So
yeah,
also he's had, with the last race being canceled, he was running a sell on oil. He's going to continue that. If you pre-order a case, you can get 15% off at the Heartland. So,
nice.
have any questions, certainly reach out to Chad.
Yeah. Very cool what them guys continue to do. So, and I know too, talking with him, we had a situation last year where some people were asking about race fuel at the Iowa State Fair. And we will have Tyler will be setting up out there. I verified that with Chad, and they will have stuff there. Once again, even for the Heartland, please, if you need race fuel, reach out to Chad. He'll bring it for you. That's a huge plus, getting it brought to the track for you. I was telling Chad, there's teams, big groups that race together. I've seen several times buy a 55-gallon drum together and have it sitting there. And the only reason I know that, Chad, Chris, I don't know if you can remember too, but how many times we clean up afterwards and I'm bringing a 55-gallon drum with like 20 gallon left still in the bottom, and it's all because people don't want to have to, travel with it, don't have to travel back with it, and stuff. So it's very handy to have somebody like Chad and Ty Lube there to help make sure you got all your needs for fuel and oils and everything. So
yep. So it's got several different options for fuel with them. I believe you bring your own 5-gallon can. I believe it's $85 if I remember right. You pump it right out of a 55-gallon drum. So
nice, cool.
So
well, I think that is all that I had. So
yeah, I've got some notes going here. I need to do making my list, checking it twice over here. Nothing for me to add. Just I got some stuff to do behind the scenes as we gear up for the Heartland.
Sure seems funny to hear us talking about, I leave for the track next Tuesday. We'll be up there this weekend, I'm sure, so seems, I don't know, just this year's went by so fast. I'm blown away that next week we go to the Heartland. So
yeah, flying by.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Ramping up. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna feel a little different this year, but we'll get through it. Excited to see the kids, featured on Friday.
Yeah,
We start 10 a.m. as the drivers' meeting, so it's not a 1, 2, 3 o'clock. We're starting in the morning.
mm-hmm. The other thing on that too is if we have any racers that are not racing, obviously the goal, especially this time more than any other time, would be to have you sign up and race. But if you're not going to, and that's not in the cards, and you would like to help, especially if you have a 4x4 where you can get around out there, we can definitely use some people. Just little stuff like where the kids cross over the track,
Mm-hmm.
just managing that area. That takes 2 people roughly right there that allows our people to keep moving, if we have people to manage those spots. So literally, Chris, if I told you we need a dozen, we could use more than that. So yeah, I see St. John's talking there. I forgot he told me he would definitely be there. The other thing too is if you don't mind, even St. John, shoot me a text. Remind me that you can be there or you're willing to be there. And then I can make sure that we've got shirts for everybody. And then also we can get a game plan as far as where you're going to be or if you're going to be roaming or, what it might be. But we will have a worker meeting. We'll probably do it. We'll probably have one Thursday night, but then we'll also do one before we start on Friday. And then if you can't be there on Friday and you're only going to be there on Saturday, we'll do another one Saturday morning as well to kind of go over. There's a lot of different rules and stuff that we got to do differently for the Heartland. So, but appreciate anybody that wants to help. Obviously the biggest thing is when we get, racers, new people helping, they always want to help, but then as soon as it starts to get dark, everybody disappears. And that's when sometimes we need them the most. So if you can only be there for part of the day, just let us know. Maybe we can get a replacement for where you're going to be, or, if you can be there the whole time, that's phenomenal. If you can only be there one day, we'll see. So what time is the meeting on Saturday? Don't really know yet. That's something that if everybody texts me, I'll get you on a group text and we'll send that out, kind of updating everybody as we get closer so everybody knows. So,
yeah.
Cool.
I would probably think somewhere around 9 o'clock if I had to guess, since we have a 10 o'clock drivers meeting each day. So
Yeah. Yep. I would say that. And actually, it'll really help. It's kind of cool. I'm already getting text messages. That's really cool. But it'll really help if they are actually at the writers meeting. All the workers, if we can be at the writers meeting, you'll actually learn a lot there. You'll understand the questions and stuff. That would help a lot if you could be at the writers meeting. So, yeah. And then number one is just making sure you're there in time, if possible, to actually learn the track, to go see the track, and how it flows, just different ways, like where the impound is, how we get them there, where we can help them, where we can't, so a lot of little things, but we'll get her taken care of. So appreciate anybody that's willing to help.
yeah. All right.
Looks like we successfully did it, hit the 2-hour mark.
I know. Maybe one of these days we'll just do 12 hour of Andy talking.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Just trying to keep everybody informed. It takes time. Understandable.
Exactly. A lot going on. Busy next month. That's for sure. So
I say I did chime in, and $78 for 5 gallons of fuel. So
getting cheaper. Didn't you say 85?
I thought it was somewhere 80, 85. Yeah.
So it's getting cheaper.
Yeah.
So, well, Chris, thank you for everything. I don't give you a lot of compliments. I'm not going to start now, but thank you. Thank you for everything you did last weekend and continue to do behind the scenes. And Zach and Sabrina, just so much going on behind the scenes that
I know. I'm excited for it. We listen, all about trying to improve the experience, and we're working. Zach's working his tail off right now on improving the website experience. So once we get more details, we'll be able to share that.
And I know, obviously, I've been giving you some static at the races, and a lot of people have seen it, but I'm very impressed with yourself and the girls at registration. I've been doing the countdown. Everybody laughs, we're doing the countdown on you. I know you enjoy it. I see you smiling all the time. But I tell everybody that's quality control. And you said how many times that if they pre-register, they don't take me 30 seconds, And yeah, I've been doing that countdown of 30 seconds. And I don't know if you've ever not made it, and someone walked up and gave you the helmet, and I start counting. So it's pretty cool that, like I said, you guys have got that down pat. So
yeah, always. Yeah, we even tested something out. I know, unfortunately, the race was canceled, but man, we're testing RFID readers at the registration trailer too. So basically, that will be kind of something we're going to work towards having. Just tapping your helmet on that reader, and it's going to even hopefully make things go a little faster. So really trying to get everybody in under a minute, especially if there's no money to exchange or they don't need a different barcode or transponder. There's no reason. A minute or less, I think we can hit that goal.
Yeah, very nice. Cool.
So, poor Zach. So Zach should be. I think I heard that he's unfortunately still out from the Heartland, but he'll rejoin us round 6. Good to see him coming back.
Yeah. All righty. Well.
Another quick question. Sinjin, that will transfer over to the next race.
Yes. So even your wristbands, everything, I think Trace had put something out about bringing your wristbands. I seen a couple that was tossed on the ground at the last race. So if there's an issue, we can double check on the sign in. But please, if you can, just keep your wristbands. It'll make it a lot quicker. When you come in, just bring them, and they'll give you the new ones. But yes, that will be not the Heartland, but one of our normal races. That'll be just pushed over there for the gate and the entry fees. So
Yep. So we will work on something I'll do behind the scenes is just run a report, and we'll have them all, even those that were pre-registered Friday night or even prepaid and came up, all that will be transferred over, and we'll have track record of that. So you'll fall under the 30 seconds or less group for the next race.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, once again, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the next month. Before we know it, we'll be sad that it's already over. It went by so quick.
Yeah. What will we do with our time?
Right.
So getting ready for next year.
So, yeah, that ain't no kidding.
So, all right, buddy. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Bye.